policy without making them in the center of every government policy, the society suffers adversely. This was said by the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Joe Ajero, at the pre-May Day lecture in Abuja as part of the activities to mark the 2024 International Workers' Day. Also, the president of the Trade Union Congress, TUC of Nigeria, Comrade Festus Osifo, said the welfare and interest of the people should be considered first in driving any government policy. Now, with the current situation of the country where workers' minimum wage is not even enough to afford the basic needs of life, is such country deserving to commemorate today's Workers' Day? I'll leave you with that thought. Anyways, International Labour Day is also known as International Workers' Day and May Day. It is a public holiday in many countries worldwide, and our dear Nigeria is not exempted. It is celebrated in more than 80 countries, including India, Cuba, and China. People in different parts of the world hold marches on this day to promote the rights of working class people and to protect them from exploitation. Ahead of today, the Nigerian Labour Congress has made demands, and we will be talking about those demands right here on the show. Good morning, viewers. You're welcome to Now Streaming. I am ADESEWA ORIOYE, your anchor for today. Viewers, please do not forget to join in the conversation by calling the number showing on your screen. You can also send your comments via our various social media handles, which are also displayed on the screen. And if you're just joining us, this is Now Streaming on ACNNTV, and still with me in the studio are Comrade IFEANYICHUKWU AGBAZIE, Chairman Labour Party, City Centre Ward, AMAC, FCT, and also a businessman, and Prince Wayne CHIKEZIE Elijah Esquire, Principal Partner of WCE and Co Chambers. You're welcome once again, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, and now we are onto the discussion segment where we will be talking about the 2024 International Workers' Day theme, which centers on ensuring workspace or workplace safety and health amidst climate change. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Labour Congress declared demands for the federal government and state government ahead of the 2024 Workers' Day. In a report by the Punch on Sunday, April 21st, the newspaper said Hakeem Ambali, the NLC's national treasurer, listed 7 demands the Congress has made from the federal and state government. He said, first, we expect that there should be improved labor, government-industrial relations, full implementations of minimum wage across the board for the federal, state, local government and private sector workers, settlement of pensions arrears, the establishment of compressed natural gas conversion centers in all senatorial districts, fixing of ports of Port Harcourt and Kaduna refineries, creation of state and local government police, granting of local government autonomy, granting of infrastructure support scheme to all local government. And there's the full list of the demands below. I read again: the creation of state and local government police, granting of local government autonomy and granting of infrastructure support scheme to all local government, improved labor government industrial relations, full implementation of minimum wage, settlement of pension arrears, establishment of compressed natural gas conversion centers, fixing of Port Harcourt and Kaduna refineries. I mean, these are the demands. I don't think these are too much for the government to actually fix as it is. What do you think about these demands?
Well, these demands are not much. You know, Nigeria is blessed if we can utilize what we have very well. State, federal government, state and local government, they can pay. They can pay any minimum wage. But the problem is this: the people in government are too corrupt. because they don't utilize what they have very well. The only question I'm asking is, if the people in government, if their lives are better, that is, the workers are better, what about the private sector? What about the traders? How can government come in to help them? You understand? It's still workable. But my problem with Nigeria is that we are too corrupt. We are too corrupt. What they are asking for can be done. But will the people in government allow it to be done, and some individuals? So the only thing I keep saying, we keep praying, and we should also be practical in what we do and say.
All right, sir. So according to the constitution, if the federal government approved the salary and raise for the civil servants and others, just like it's clearly stated under the government, so don't you think such olive branch should be extended to the private sectors and others?
Of course, we know that public institutions and public servants are statutory bodies. And these ones are regulated with statutory enactments, which is either the Act of the National Assembly or the law made by the State House of Assembly. Public sectors are, in a way, not too connected.
Okay.
That is because of what we call capitalism. We're operating a capitalist system in this country, and everybody is exercising their fundamental human rights to establish their own institution and dictate how they operate within that institution. For example, termination of employment. If, as a private citizen who own a private company, I decide to terminate the employment of one of my worker, the person cannot come to the National Industrial Court to try to enforce anything, except there's a pre-contract stating that there's a procedure for termination. However, when it's a public servant, it is an employment with statutory flavor. There are procedures you must follow, else the court will declare that termination is unlawful, arrear of salary should be paid, and the person should be reinstated because it is employment with statutory flavor. Now, looking at termination, it will now come to your mind that salary also is what is similar to that. When you're talking about minimum wage, it is just a benchmark. It should not be below this amount. However, it can exceed this amount. So the benchmark primarily is on those in the public sector. However, those in the private sector can also use it as a yardstick.
Okay.
However, it is not as mandatory as it is on the public sector, on the private citizen who is perhaps thinking of paying his workers, those that are not graduates, 20,000 naira just to resume and close by, perhaps resume by 9, close by 12, or close by 1. That is a private thing. It's a private arrangement. It can even go way above what the financial security officers might imagine, because you might be asked, how come are you making 12 million naira every day? Who is paying you 12 million naira every day? A private sector is paying me 12 million naira every day. And then to them it's like you're even earning more than a sitting House of Rep member. But then it's a private thing, so it can go very high, it can go very low. It depends on the arrangement you both have.
Okay. All right, thank you so much for that. Our viewers, please do not forget to call in or send your comments via our social media showing on your screen, or call the numbers showing on your screen. We would like to hear from you, as this segment of the show promises to be educative. We want to talk about Workers' Day, its whole essence, in its whole glory and everything. If we as a nation is what, how we allowed to even celebrate it, especially we Nigerians. Well, so I will ask you, what is May Day or Workers' Day? What is it all about? As
Workers' Day basically is the celebration of unionism. workers' unionism, the unionism of workers that has postulated theories and made demands all over the world for better working condition. That is basically what May Day or Worker Day is all about. And sincerely, yesterday I got the hint, and I watched when the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Interior, Maisha, declared that today was going to be Workers' Day and it's a public holiday. And I had some people who were celebrating, and I was very angry because I felt like, what are we celebrating? What are we celebrating? Today being a public holiday has given us the opportunity to come out in mass to protest in a country where citizens are all alutarized, yes, where the citizens are more of comrades. This public holiday is an opportunity. Even the military will come out in mass. As long as you're a public worker, you are covered by this. And as long as you're a public worker, you are affected. No one is supposed to be celebrating. What are you celebrating? You are celebrating that you can no longer ply the road. Yes. There is no security anywhere. Are you celebrating that fuel? They said that there's no longer fuel subsidy. I have said it before in one of the shows, and I said the fuel subsidy remover was a scam.
And even RFI came out to say they're still paying it.
They're still paying
and it's even higher than what they were paying before.
And so I have said it that the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he did an unconstitutional act on May 29, 2023, when he declared that the petroleum subsidy was no longer going to be enforced. And then they actually went ahead, NNPC, to remove it before 30th of June 2023. Okay. It was a gross misconduct that was a ground for removal. The National Assembly failed. It failed Nigeria because they ought to have commenced removal proceedings against Mr. President after that act. Because the NNPC removing it was contradicting Section 59 of the 1999 Constitution when it comes to money bill. A money that has already been appropriated. They have already done the appropriation in 2022. Against 2023, the petroleum subsidy has already been paid from 1st January to 30th June, 6 months.
Yes.
Now, the money between 29th May and 30th of June. Where was it? Which National Assembly sat down to reappropriate that money? That are questions that I expect the EFCC to call Mr. President and say, Mr. President, yes, you have immunity, but after your years in service, we will call you, we will invite you, like Yayabelo, we will invite you so that you can come and answer. Because these are issues that border on constitutionality. And the Constitution of Nigeria was raped. They were raping our Constitution, and everybody was watching. The National Assembly, who has the principal and primary responsibility to ensure the safeguarding of the Constitution, were there clapping their hands. And everybody now, just yesterday, are looking for better seats.
Yes.
You see, that was why I said that we are too corrupt. People in government are too corrupt. And I don't know the reason why. It's too bad when I see all these things happening. Now, you ask the question, how can government come in and help the private sector? Take, for instance, states normally get monthly allocations from the federal. Now, the private sector should be getting such in form of grants or even loans that have a low interest rate and a loan that has a wider repayment plan. When you do that, at least you have done something good for the private individuals. And when you push it down to the traders, you do the same for them. At least you have come in a little while. And some of the laws, like just like he said, it is still the government that make laws that regulates the private business. This thing. Some of those laws should be conducive.
Sorry, sir. We have a caller. We'll get back to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. We can hear
My name is Emmanuel, calling from Lagos. I want to contribute concerning the private sector, concerning these increments of minimum wage. Is it that if there was no private sector, because what I'm seeing with a lot of graduates, they don't have job in this country. So if it was not for the help of private sector, how would the job, get to people and like a lot of graduates, which we don't have job in this country? How will we work? So it simply means that the federal government cannot support us who work in private sector company because of we are not working in federal government, or we are not a state government, or we are not working as federal government workers. So we need a support also. As we, the citizens that are working under the private sector, they have to support us also. It's not the minimum wage, is not just because they say the arrangement is based on the company, or the arrangement is based on the sector that you are. If you are not under federal government, this thing, no, that's not normal. Because these people support us. If not for this private sector, a lot of us would have been jobless, would have hung up in the street, or stealing, or doing robbing, or kidnap people. Because of this private sector, it really help us. So if they are increasing minimum wage, it should get to private sector. Federal government should have certain agreement with private sector to support the citizens. That is my own contribution. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that. Thank you, Emmanuel, for that contribution. So you can continue.
Okay, so like I was saying, so you had him. Government should come in. Like I said earlier, they should come into in my organization. What I did for my workers was this: I introduced a loan scheme for them. Big money, but I spread the repayment 2 years. Now I went to government to apply for a grant, and they refused. You are getting
just
where
like
I'm
what
going.
the caller said.
Yes, and the government cannot come and pay the salaries of the private organizations. But there are some ways they can help out.
Yes.
There are so many ways, and not that they don't know. They know it, but because of corruption, I keep saying this thing. I don't want to blow my head out. Because of corruption, they don't want to do it. They keep enriching themselves. It's very wrong, very, very wrong. They know what to do. I just pray that one day the right people will come into government. Through Labour Party, I know, of course.
Well, we all hope for that better Nigeria, because there's a video that circulated 2 days ago. It was 30 years ago.
Wow.
Yes, I still have. I think I have a screenshot of that. It showed Nigeria on April 30th, 1994. Same day, same time. Only difference 30 years ago. Nigeria's in long fuel queues, lamenting. 30 years later, they are still lamenting. At least April 30th, they are still lamenting. And in another 30 years, the person asks, will they still lament? In fact, the person was affirmative that we will still lament, because why? Patterns don't lie. That is what the person affirmed. Patterns don't lie. So now, if someone is coming out to say this, because we were saying, I grew up, there are some statements that we hear older generations say, Nigeria will be better, Nigeria will be better. They've sung it in different songs. And still, I grew up into this. And now, such is still being sung.
It's worsening.
It's worsening.
It's not getting any better.
So,
due to corruption. And the judiciary is not doing anything. Because
now, when you talk about Labour Party, one person cannot come and fix the country as it is, because the corruption has eaten too deep. Because I think the average Nigerian man, his first instinct is corruption. The thinking is archaic, because you can be doing bad, and somebody comes to correct you. People that are doing bad, they'll come together and eliminate the person that is saying stop doing that or do good. That is how bad the country has gotten to. So how can one party fix this?
Okay.
You want to say something?
Let me first of all adopt the opinion of my brother on the issue that government can assist the private sector through loan. However,
grants
and grants.
Yes.
However, I feel that aside grants and loan and schemes to aid both medium and small scale businesses here and there that's owned by private individuals. The reduction of petroleum price, whether through subsidy or whether not through subsidy, the availability of electricity,
honestly,
and the availability of security,
create enabling environment,
and
automatically
a conducive environment for any sector. That's the thing, honestly.
On the 1st of January 2024, Mr. President came on live TV and said, I know the petroleum has been hiked, and I know that life has become miserable for you guys. I am aware.
And what are you doing?
But there's nothing I can do about it.
Can you imagine?
You just have to endure. And in my mind,
says that.
I looked at it and I said, Mr. President is a Lagosian. As Lagosians, we know what's up. We know that the moment there's any rumor or there's any hike in petrol, Danfo drivers, keke drivers, bike riders,
it goes up.
It makes life miserable for everybody.
Yes.
Lagos is among the states that are charging very high when it comes to bike.
Good. Now, they've eliminated bike in Lagos anyway.
Some areas, you know,
most of the areas. Except using the Lungu
yes,
side now.
It's the Lungu side.
But Lagos has been, they are turning it to a mega city. You are turning a place to a mega city to make it unlivable for an average person. Because the truth is that an average person cannot afford to sustain their life. They are forced to go back to Osun State or your state,
just like Wike is doing.
Osun State is expensive, of
course, you go to the rural area.
Yes.
However, because they were saying that it's only the Igbo persons that is in Lagos that has been affected, it's a lie.
That's not true.
Every person in Lagos that is currently being affected. And honestly speaking, I am very, very disappointed in Mr. President, because some persons believed in him that, he has that human sympathy to understand the plight of the common man, because he is a person that is also coming from the streets. I need you to understand this, and I need Nigerians to remember this. He is a man coming from the streets. He understands the streets. He understands that removal of petroleum subsidy is not the answer. You are saying the answer that the moment you remove petroleum subsidy, there will never be fuel scarcity again. After you remove it, that we are going to have our foreign reserve will shoot up, and then the dollar will crash, and then employment will now come in full force. My dear, we have removed this first subsidy between May 29, 2023 and today, May 1st, 2024. And there is no change. As a wise man, what do? You have to return Nigeria back to status quo. Go back to the status quo. Go back to where we were before you took power. Take us back there. And how do you do that? You take us back there by putting the petroleum subsidy and telling Nigerians, come. I knew that, yes, I made this petrol as 130 per liter. And then we removed everything and it just
but now it's not working.
What are we doing? Now I want to return it back. I'm returning it back. Let's pay. The money that we say we are going to gather through removal of petroleum subsidy is a scam.
Where are they channeling the money?
Rather, we are still borrowing money. Instead of allowing us to say, they say they will pay money to all Nigeria, they will give us some palliatives. Mr. President, we don't want the palliative.
Have you received?
We don't want the palliative. What we want is
not saying
for you to see that palliative, that money, gather it and pay for petroleum subsidy.
Yes.
Let us have our subsidy back, because the subsidy was never removed. That is truth. Some persons somewhere are still coming out every day with dollars. And going out to sort out one or two things that has to do with petroleum in this country. How will those that are importing generator, why would they want us to have constant steady power supply? That means you are going to run them out of business.
Yes.
And if you check the stakeholders that are in charge of this generator business, they are all in power. So tell me why. In fact, I even heard that when the Minister of Power was addressing National Assembly yesterday, I heard that power went off.
Yes, there's that.
I am very happy, and I want to thank the person, the AEDC staff that was in charge of power.
There is actually a photograph of him in darkness.
Yes, I want to appreciate him, because if he no touch you, you no go know.
Yes.
Perhaps you have always been in an environment with, whether it's solar energy or with electrical energy, you don't feel it.
That's the picture.
Yes, good. At least you feel it. Then go feel it. You feel it, and you know how it is. It is just unfortunate that in this country we forget a lot. Citizens forget a lot. Citizens forget their suffering a lot. In less than 1 to 2 days, citizens of Nigeria can forget what just happened less than 24, 48 hours. They can forget it. And you'll be wondering, are these people oblivious of the fact that the same person they are now riding around is the same person who caused their suffering? Because I could remember you were asking me about something that happened, and you are asking about the way forward. On the 20th of October 2020, in Lekki Toll Gate, protesters were massacred. Until today, they are still saying nobody was massacred. But then there is a panel, an inquiry body that has come out to say that you have to compensate because there indeed was massacre.
There was. There's a recorded number of people that
good. And that protest, that period, honestly speaking, was the period Nigeria would have been totally sanitized. Because it was no longer about police brutality. It was now about bad governance. We had graduated from police brutality and we had now come to say, Mr. President, I think, yes, we started with police brutality, but now we are diverting from that. We want to talk about the youth. We want to talk about bad governance. We want to talk about a total reform. And we were making headways. However, if we can reform this country, the soldiers will also benefit from it. I don't know why the chief of army staff, chief of defense staff, chief of naval staff, and chief of air staff are there and are not even talking to Mr. President. Yes, you hired. Yes, you appointed me, but Mr. President, can I advise you? Let me advise you, Mr. President.
Will Mr. President accept that?
This way we are going, it will not help us. Mr. President, what happened in this country years back is not happening now because of the fact that we, your chiefs, have told our troops we are not in any way in for any form of unconstitutional overthrow of government. They've repeatedly said it. And that is one thing Mr. President is enjoying. He's enjoying what we call loyalty. Mr. President, if not for the loyalty of the chief of army staff, the chief of defense staff, chief of naval staff, and chief of air staff, by now this country would have been like other countries in Africa that don't have civil government anymore.
Yes.
It is the loyalty, and that is why Mr. President is smart. I will give it to him. He's a smart person. He knows how to ensure that every person within his cabinet is loyal. And that is why when I heard that the past governor, let me not mention his name, in Lagos, was no longer going to enjoy any second whatever. And then in the primaries, Sanwo-Olu just came from nowhere. And Sanwo-Olu said yes, so and they said, are you serious? I was not shocked. You know why? Mr. President, why as an ex-governor of Lagos State still had Lagos in his grasp?
Yes.
And that is what I'm talking about, that Mr. President have to appreciate the fact that he has this loyalty and he should make use of it before it is late, because Nigerians have a limit. Me and you, we have a limit. There is a limit in which we can take, and if Mr. President is not careful, this loyalty will fail. And if he fails, the 1999 Constitution will be suspended and some provisions will be modified by a decree. We pray we don't get to that, because as a lawyer we are taught that the worst civilian rule is still better than the best military government. That is what we're
talking. Well, you have said it all. And again, you know, I was never expecting President Tinubu to do any positive things in Nigeria. I was never. I said it and we are seeing it. If we like, let us talk and talk and talk. He's not going to do anything good except his tenure expires and another person, I pray Labour Party, comes in.
Because people are asking, is it that they are not aware of this?
They are aware.
That is worsening?
They are very much. Before the minister said this one that you said he said yesterday, he has already said one thing.
Yes.
That we run Nigerians run their fridge for. Is it the kind of people you expect to
the audacity
to tell him to do the right thing. I have said I will not blow my head off.
Human empathy.
The only way we can react, the only way we can revolt is 2027 is coming. I don't believe in violence. Go and get your PVC and vote them out. Once these people are out and we have reasonable people in power, you will see positive changes. But if you're expecting this set of people in government, I'm saying it on live television, they have proven it by what they are saying. If you are expecting them to do anything for this nation, you are wasting your time. That is the truth of matter. You are wasting your time. Look at Wike. You are wasting your time. I don't want to say much, but people know. Just everybody should get ready for 2027 and send APC away. Send them away. That is the only way we can have peace and development and security in this country. Just yesterday, was it the day before yesterday, Fulani herdsmen, they attacked Enugu State, right? Now they have finished from the north. They are now going into this thing. Until these people leave government, that is when Nigeria will see development. We should not waste our time. They will never change. They will never. I'm telling you this thing. They will never.
I wanted to ask of your assessment of the performance of the president so far, but
failure. 0/100. Failure. There is nothing good that has come out of this government since he took over power. Look at, before this minister, look at Better Edu. Is it better Edu or what? Okay, look at still the Senate president, APC man. Pardon. Or you people have forgotten it. The one that he gave them how many millions to go out for a break or what? See, you don't need to waste your time. Let's just praying that God will help us to do what? To survive and get to 2027. These people, they will never help anybody. I'm telling you the gospel truth.
All right, we have a caller.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, are you hearing me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead and make your contribution.
Contribute to what the last speaker is talking about. Yes, I am Joy from Enugu. He's talking about next election, getting PVC. We all had our PVC. We all voted in the last election. I want to ask, where is election result going to? We all know in this country that nobody does anything with elections except to rig it. Right from the INEC to the last person, all they do is to rig elections. For me and my friends here in Enugu, we have said we will not vote. I am one of those that always come out to vote. I campaign and make sure that people get their PVC and they vote. But having seen Nigeria for all the things they've been doing, there is nothing like election. Please, if you're asking for people to elect anybody in the next election, you are wasting your time. Because me and my people here, we are not going, there's no point voting anybody. Is it the result that you have voted that you will hear at the end of the day? Not at all. The last election, the people in power, were they the people we voted in? No. And it will continue to be like that. So every time they tell us, get your PVC, your vote is your power. There is nothing like that in Nigeria. It's all fallacy. They all rig and they give us whatever they like to give to us. Thank you very much. I am Joy from Enugu.
Thank you very much.
Let me respond to what she said. Do you know why the last election was rigged? Let me tell you the gospel truth. Voting counts. Votes counts. The reason why they rigged this election, Nigerians, including me, we believed in this new technology that INEC brought in. All of us went and did what? Relaxed.
But what are Nigerians supposed to do?
Follow up. Thank you, my brother. Follow up. Let me tell you.
See, today, do you know why there's a sitting governor elected by the people for the people in Abia State?
They followed up. I'm telling you.
The
follow up.
That lady, that woman, the professor, her hands were tied. in as much as she's a person of integrity, she told them when they were telling her, when she came out and in a private interview, she said, people voted for this man.
Yes.
My dear, she told them that even if I collect this money, the people of Abia will kill me.
What are we saying?
Take the bull by the horn.
Let me tell you, the way Nigerians came out in this last election, assuming our attention was focused on INEC, if Nigerians had followed up, INEC wouldn't have had the chance to rig anything. I'm telling you, we all relaxed. We believed in the beavers, but we tell them 2027. Let Nigerians not relent. Do not relent.
Well, that is just it, because
that is the truth. I don't believe in violence.
Killed because of the last election.
Follow up. Wherever we voted, our votes counted in 2015.
Exactly.
Nigerians rejected Jonathan.
They followed up the vote.
What are you telling me?
In Gwagwalada Area Council in 2015, it was so bad that as the POs, presiding officers, the coppers were counting, they were writing the result. There were people there, not just agents. I'm talking about citizens.
Everybody.
They followed up to the area council.
Collation center. Yes.
They still followed up from there down to town.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Do you know that people volunteered their cars? They were policing the results. And then when you start to announce, if they burn you well, announce
what people did not.
We are all here. We have everybody's with their paper and their pen. Goodluck Jonathan, people said it's a week. No, how can you do? Because the truth is that people were ready to die.
That's the thing. People were tired of him.
So if God keeps us alive, 2027,
let's bring
a candidate comes on board. Any candidate. I'm not a political person. I am a person's person.
Yes.
If a worthy candidate who we know we can fact, if it was Peter Obi that won this, that was sworn in, let me not say one day, that was sworn in last year. Do you know that all this is happening now? He cannot do it.
He can't.
The privileges that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is enjoying now, Peter Obi cannot enjoy it.
I'm telling you.
We withdraw him. We withdraw his this thing.
Yes.
We withdraw it.
Even only him will come out and remove those privileges.
Do you
I'm
understand?
telling you, we have credible people.
Will be a strong opposition against himself. He cannot even, in fact, the moment there is any form of insecurity alert, the first person that will come out on TV is not Atiku. It is Bola Ahmed Tinubu will come out and say, Nigerians, you can see how this man is taking us. You can see how this man is killing us.
It all happened.
But now it's happening in his time.
It's happening.
And now nobody can talk.
He was among those that protested
in 2012. In 2012.
When first scarcity came.
When President Goodluck Jonathan then removed petrol subsidy from 65 naira that Yar'Adua left it before he died to 145. The first person in Lagos, I will never forget. The first person that came out with all the youth was a massive
protest. Yes,
he shut down
everywhere.
He shut down the whole country
because it was a massive protest.
So
now,
why are you blowing hot at all? You are telling us now that if we are to protest, you are going to send DSS, you are going to send this one, that is we have to write a letter to IG to seek permission to protest. It's a lie.
It's a big lie.
It is our constitutional right, and it is a fundamental human right, and it is a statutory right.
That is why
it is a natural right inherent in us to protest if we are dying. If something is choking you, you talk. Mr. President, I cannot keep quiet because you have failed woefully.
He has failed. Though I never expected him to do anything.
He has failed.
Positive. Like I said earlier, I never. That's why you see me. I don't want to blow my head off. I never expected him to do anything positive to Nigerians. You get the point. So the lady that called in, please, I'm pleading. Let this thing not grow cold. Be ready. 2027, we are going to tell them that our vote must count. Nobody, no matter how any lie INEC will bring out, we will not relax again. I told you, people relaxed. People believe in this thing called beavers. 2027, I'm telling her, mobilize again. Oh, kudos to the one you did last year. 2027, mobilize again. We will follow up. Follow up. I think it's going to be our hashtag. Follow up. Follow up. I'm telling you. Follow up.
I think
we can't continue like this.
I also hereby adopt
follow up.
Yes.
Hashtag
follow up.
2027.
Follow up.
So you are hearing it here for the first hand on ACNNTV viewers. Don't let your all hope to be lost. We just have to reclaim. We just have to follow.
These people are not more than they're not more than 5.
We just have to take charge.
And look at what they are doing.
Okay, we have a caller.
Okay, I listened to your discussion in the studio, and nice discussion, wonderful talk. But you know, it's easier to talk than to execute. The lady that called from the east said she will never vote again, that our votes will never count. And we seem to differ from our opinion. But I also want to say that, do our votes really count? Go and check the actual vote that came out from Lagos during the last presidential election. What was the pledge? You saw that we saw papers flying up that where bureaus were used to cancel results. So we saw 20 to 200 for a party, turned 500 to 50 for a party, clearly. And today nobody was arrested, nothing was done. Go and check those results from River State. Cancelled, mutilated results. Nobody was arrested. And people were sworn in. And they are really not unfortunately in our Commonwealth. And that's when I hope that other people will vote. Go and check the in-house result of INET in Lagos. Somebody scored up to 1 million votes. Another person scored 150. And at the end of the day, they gave both of them 500,000 votes. Just with a difference of 10,000. So how do you now hope that people come and vote? People voted and they were beaten. So were stabbed. And nobody has been arrested. Nobody has been prosecuted. And those people are enjoying our Commonwealth. So how do we come out to vote in the next election? That is how those things happen. They were not even in power. Now what will happen when they are in power? If they can beat you and stab you, and nothing happen to them, and they motivate the results, and they are not in power, election they did not contest, they did not conduct. Now that they will seek to conduct the election, now that they will seek to elect any chairman, is that what your vote will count? I think the time has come that we take our destiny in our hands. These people don't mean well for us. People are hungry. We are giving people 25% increment in salary. What's the increment in the bag of rice? If my salary is 100,000, give me 125. What 125 do? When Indomie is already 12,500 and the bag of rice is already 95,000. So my salary can only buy a bag of rice for a family of 4 or 5. What of the absence? What of the medical bill? How buy paracetamol in the market? You will know the cost. So the economy is we are no longer breathing. Even the rich are no longer breathing, not about the poor. But if something needs to be done, we need to take our destiny in our hands. Enough of talking. We have been talking since 1960. It has never helped us. When Coke became 5 kobo, we will start talking. Coke became 29, we will start talking. Now, Coke is 300. We are still talking. In our very high, it's down to 500. Nothing we will do. So if we don't stand up and fight, nothing will change. We will sit here and these people will conduct election. Not if they can win this election, they did not conduct. But somebody multiplied the results in River State and he became a minister. We all saw it. Everybody is talking. Those are criminal offenses. That's a civil offense. You are turning the destiny of people upside down. And you are looking at you, we are all laughing as if nothing has happened. The 20 point to 140, you occupy Nigeria, block Abuja, block Lagos, shout everywhere. Now we are buying oil at 690. And nobody is talking. You that protested when oil was 140, drove the 4 miles of Villa. Now, oil is 690. We are clapping, we are smiling as if nothing is happening. But you know, you will die down of like 300. If you happen in our very eyes, and nothing will do. People are sick, they cannot recover malaria. And nobody is talking. We are just talking as it. There's a cost for a stack of chicken that used to buy for 5,000. They told me 120. More than a month salary. Oh, we buy that. So please, you are politicians, you are civil rights activists. We have to sit up and if you don't do something, something will do also. Thank you very much. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lucky. Thank you for that contribution. We just like we've been discussing this, it shows that 2027 is going to be a tough one. And if we don't take the bull by the horn, we just hope we won't keep talking. Just like he said, people we've been discussing Coke went from what is to what is now,
That
and
is-
we are still discussing.
That is why I
So
said
we just have to pull up forces.
that
and
is it.
Like the hashtag that was
Yeah,
said, yes.
hashtag
earlier, we
follow
just have
up.
to follow
Don't
up.
worry.
We can't relent because
We can't.
I don't think our leaders have empathy. If we even give up, they will still like, okay, you're not saying anything. The cheat is still going to happen. It will happen whether we like it or not.
Let me tell the viewers now.
Yeah.
It is better you made an attempt and you failed than you did not make any attempt at all and you made it very easy for yourself to be called a failure. If you don't come out to vote, I have been privileged to serve in one of the elections back then when I was still in school as a presiding officer. If the ballot papers that is allocated to a particular polling unit, if you don't come out to vote, to utilize them, you have left those ballot papers open. And then if the person in charge of that polling unit is not someone that has a watertight heart like myself, because when they approached me, I told them, no way. You cannot come to this polling unit with whatsoever. And I told the officers that were assigned by INEC to be with me, I told them, see, you have to understand, and this is to viewers now, you have to understand that the moment you stay away from the election process, you have made it easy for rigging to take place.
Yes.
Because that empty or unused ballot paper may now, in one way or the other, be used.
Yes.
And then your name will be ticked manually, even without what? Beavers.
Beavers, yeah.
Because they will now write a report and say Beavers did not work, or it worked and stopped at some point. So we now switch to what? To manual. So at this point, please and please, in 2027, we no go gree for anybody follow up.
All right.
That is it.
I will take a comment. Sorry, from our Facebook viewer, from Bola Ogunyowo. The same matter we are talking about this day has been talked about in 1977. Fuel scarcity, no light, bad road, and no infrastructure, labor matter, and so on. You can imagine senators fighting over seats. And I remember that between 1999 to 2003 and 2005 to 2010, some senators threw seats at each other. Then it became clear to me that Nigeria has not moved forward since 1977. We have only been able to change leaders that have the same mindset to eat up Nigeria. I am not old, I am not a young man, but I have not seen nor can I remember if Nigeria refineries have ever worked. Civil servant salary has been there as long as I can remember. The same government that cannot pay civil servant are buying 100 million worth of SUV and smiling to the bank.
Terrible.
As for me, I am tired of talking about same thing about Nigeria all the time. Nigeria need a revolution, or better still, let Nigeria break up. Well, I think we will get it right. We will get it right.
The last caller that called, what she said is true. If
Okay,
NSC,
we have a caller. Sorry about that. I hope it will be clear this time. Okay. Please go ahead with your contribution. We can hear you.
My contribution is about the issue of people talking about Democracy Day and coming off this 2027 election that will be coming by God grace 2027. Before we can achieve that, we have to go back and test our step 2015 and apologize to Goodluck Jonathan. Otherwise, we can never achieve anything, because what is happening to Nigeria today is spiritual. We need to ask Goodluck Jonathan to forgive us. That is my contribution.
All right. Thank you so much for that. You can go ahead.
all right. So what she said is true. If the economy is not robust, even if they increase their salary, the minimum wage to 500,000, it will never be enough. You get the point? It will never be enough. And these people in government, they will have nothing to offer. I still follow what he said. We have started it too. I no go agree, hashtag, I no agree for anybody, follow up. That is the truth of the matter. This thing that NLC they are talking about, that 2027, they should come out en masse. They should follow up. You understand? Monitor this thing, follow INEC. I said this thing, INEC did it because we relaxed. Nigerians relaxed. We believe so much in beavers. But 2027, we will tell them, we will follow up.
All right.
That's the truth of the matter.
No problem.
Workers should know if they should, all this one, they should stop complaining. Let's wait for that 2027. That's the truth of the matter.
All right. When we're coming back to the essence of today, Workers' Day, how would you describe the historical treatment of workers by state government in the past and even till now? We've been discussing about categorically now. How would you?
Well, I would say some states governments are trying for their workers, while some, oh my God, they are not treating their workforce good. Take for instance, the latest one, the Kogi. They said, is this 16 years salary?
Yes, they just paid.
Yes, they just paid. Oh my God. How do you expect such persons to survive? Before Peter Obi, when he was governor of Anambra, when he took over, he also have to pay backlog of salaries. Same thing with this present governor of Abia State, Alex Oti. That one, is it 20-something years, this thing. So, but there are some states that are doing well. They are doing the right thing for their workforce. But among 36 states, the states that are treating their workforce well are not up to 10 when you go by history. So these ones now, they should sit up and do the right thing for their workforce. The what they need to do, the resources they need to improve the welfare of their workforce is there. Like I said earlier, what is stopping them? Corruption.
All right. I want to just clarify what you said about the payment. According to Punch newspaper, I said the local government pensioners were not left out of the payment scheme as they received their 100% of their monies for the first in the last 16 years. So I guess they were given some percentage over the years. So now they are receiving 100% of their, so maybe possibly they were giving them 50, 60, 80% of their money, of their salaries rather.
If it will
and
be
now
up
it is
to,
paid 100.
So it's okay. It's okay, but it's very bad. So what were they surviving on before now?
Let me tell you a story. Okay. I won't mention him to be anonymous.
Yes.
In Borno State, Maiduguri, one theater commander was once appointed. One major general was brought on board to take over Operation Lafia Dole, fighting the insurgents, Boko Haram. And he asked, because they have this joint force, the police,
JTF,
and other law agencies, security agencies. And there were some allowances that, as the theater commander, he was to be paying to these boys because they were all under him. And then the head of one of the security agencies, like I said, I won't mention the names, just called and said, we are the one that usually pay these boys. And the theater commander said, no, if these boys are going to be under me, even though they are from your own institution, but if they will be under me, then I will be the one to pay them their allowances. It was a very big fight, and all. At the end of the day, it was resolved. The defense staff finally said, okay, you know what, since you are in charge of these troops and they're under you, you pay them. Do you know that when the allowances came and he paid these officers, do you know one of them came to him, lie down and say, Oga, after saluting, he fell down on the ground and said, Oga, I am shocked. I said, what happened? He said he just saw alert now. He said, I alert. It has, it's normal money. He said, Oga, since he has been doing this job.
I had that story too.
He says he has been doing
yes.
this job.
Wow.
That he has never, ever, that the highest he has seen is 6,000.
Yes.
Wow.
I had it.
Never